Hey, I'm Gray. I'm the social media manager with World of DVC. Welcome to episode 47 of the World of DVC show. Today I'm chatting with Derek and Marissa about being a newbie with DVC.
Hey, Gray. How are you?
Hey, man. How you doing?
We're so glad to have you here. So, as most people know, I'm not exactly what the kids call tech savvy. So I'm wondering if you could take a minute, because you are the social media guru. Yes. Help me out. I'm trying to do this stuff. What was it called? TokTik, and then something Gram Insta or something.
Close.
But I can't get it.
You have to. There's this thing. You have to turn it on first, and then you can.
Whoa.
See.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Marissa, check it out. This is great. All right, bye, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now entering the world of DVC, the ultimate DVC destination where magical vacations meet incredible value through exceptional service. Put in your headphones, turn the volume up, sit back, relax, and step into the world of DVC.
Just wish on a star. Enter the world of DVC.
Hi. I feel like I haven't seen you forever.
I know, me and you haven't been doing this show in a long time.
Look, I see you. I
Hello.
see you.
Happy 2025 since we haven't seen
Happy,
each other.
everybody. I've seen her outside of work on a front, but we haven't been in the studio in a long time together. So it's
been
so
a
good to
while.
see you.
Hi.
So good to see you. And so good to see each and every one of y'all. Welcome to episode number
47.
47. Do you see how I tried to do that like a segue? Like, I'm just going to toss it to you because I forgot what episode it was. So it's episode 47. Welcome. We are so glad that you guys are here. And thank you all, because again, we wouldn't have a show without you. And every day we love to go back, because I was looking at the responses for our most romantic resort at Walt Disney World last month. And your comments were awesome. So we can talk about those in a little bit. And we promise we've got a great show, which I love it. Because a lot of times we do these shows, and maybe we go in the weeds per se on some detailed stuff. But this, we have the perfect person for the perfect topic for the perfect show today.
Yeah, so we are welcoming Gray from our team here on the marketing side of things. He is our social media manager and really just a great addition to the team. And I think as we go through this episode, you'll get some insight on kind of how he fell in love with Disney, which is so unique. And he's got a very fresh perspective on Disney, which is a really fun thing to kind of bring to our team, who a lot of us have been around Disney for many, many years. So it's fun to have kind of fresh eyes. And that's what inspired this show, is we really wanted to bring Gray in and just see from kind of a newbie to DVC, what is your perspective? What was kind of that first impression? What's your impression now? Especially because he's just had pretty limited exposure up until working with our team on just anything DVC related.
It'll be an awesome conversation.
Yeah.
It'll be great. So whether you've been a member forever, since 1991, or whether you just joined this morning, you're going to find something to enjoy and something to learn in this show. And many of you, I know, with spring break coming up, you got some great trips. I'm chomping at the bit. I'm wearing this right here. I always try to think of, my wife makes it a mission. Every time we go to the parks or a resort, she looks at shirts, various shirts, and she will literally say, hold it up and say the same thing. What about for the show? What about for the show? And this one she found when we went to, let's talk about it in a second, to the Polynesian for a 2-night family staycation.
No,
I'll talk about it now. We went to the Polynesian for a 2-night staycation. We booked it a couple months ago with our boys, Owen and Connor. Owen is home from Florida State, and Owen's girlfriend, Stella. And we went 2 nights in a standard view, well, now they call them resort view, at the Polynesian, the original. We did that just for 2 nights, no parks. It was let's just go to the parks. Let's just relax. No parks, none of that. Let's just eat, hang out. So we live about 30 minutes away. So the day we left, we thought about it, and we talked about it the night before, and we said, hey, Disney's got that promo, right? That now, if you're staying at a Disney resort, on the day you check in, you get to get into a water park for free. So we debated. We were like, do we go straight to the hotel? Because the room ain't going to be ready at 9 a.m. Or do we try this new water park stuff out? We asked everybody. The consensus was, we're going to Blizzard Beach. So we did. And we pulled into the parking lot. It was nearly empty. Got there about 20 minutes later. They were super quick about getting you in. Again, it has to be on the day you check in.
Yep.
It's not one of those I could use it anytime during my... No, it's got to be...
But for DVC members...
the day.
you do, like my aunt and uncle just came and stayed, and they did a split stay, and it's not uncommon for DVC members. So if you were doing a split stay, it can be that next check-in.
That's a perfect point. And they treated us like little VIPs. Like you're walking up, and we're like, where do we go? Like, do we get in the line for the regular tickets? But we don't. And they have their.
What do you show?
Things.
Your
Well, you know me, I'm not tech savvy, so
There's that.
I go, Annie, they want some information. I don't know what they want. And she comes over with her phone, so it was on her My Disney Experience app.
Just your room reservation.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
cool.
and that was it. And then she's like, okay, everybody that's on the reservation. They handed us our tickets. We went to Blizzard Beach. We hadn't been there. We tried to figure out at least like 15 years.
Wow.
We normally, if we go to a water park, it's Typhoon.
Yep.
But Typhoon was closed.
But Blizzard has that crazy fast.
Yeah.
Did you go down that?
No.
Oh, come
Not
on.
doing that. We did everything else.
Yep.
We got there nice and early, so we were able to hit all the big stuff that you wanted to do, like as a family.
Yep.
Sat around the pool. I don't like their wave because it's not really a wave pool.
No.
So it's just more like a thing. But the slides were super, super fun. It was a beautiful, beautiful day. And then we looked at each other around like 1 o'clock, and we go, I don't want to eat at Blizzard Beach when I've got the Polynesian like waiting for me.
Yep.
So we said, let's head back to the Poly. Checked in. Our room was ready. Took everything to the room the first night. Then we ate at Wailulu Grill. Wailulu Grill. It was my first time actually eating in that place.
Okay, so when you were
I've
texting
been-
me about food options, I thought you had eaten there before.
No.
Oh, what'd you order?
Never ordered. I'm trying to remember. Oh, the burger.
Did you love it?
I loved it. Loved it.
It's my husband's favorite, but it's really bad.
Yeah.
Because now, like literally yesterday, he's like, "So are we going to the Wailulu Lounge?" And I'm like, "We cannot go every weekend. Like
And
that's not normal."
and she's such a planner. Like she'll tell me all the time. She'll be like, oh, or I'll see like her Instagram pics. I'll be like, why are they eating at Wailulu when they're watching the fireworks again? Like, how does that happen? Because they don't take reservations.
No,
right?
it's definitely like a feat to
So
get in there.
we showed up and we gave them our name, and then they said, "Hey, great, we'll just text you." Like when you're, they said expect like an hour,
Yeah.
which is totally fine because it was like 5 p.m. It was gorgeous outside. So we're like, you know what, we're all here, so let's walk over to the Grand.
Yeah.
So we walked over to the Grand. It was a beautiful walk. Did some shopping there at the Grand. Got the text. Walked back. They sat us in the one of those booths, like
with the water,
with the water, like
the
on
infinity
the
pool behind you.
where it was one of those
It's
where
picturesque.
I knew that if we didn't sit there, I would sit there my meal the whole time going, next time I got to make sure to get one of those.
Yep.
rooms. Like,
But it's hard because we
know.
go as a family of 3, and they're not going to seat a family of 3 there unless
Yes.
like they for some reason are not full at all.
Yeah.
So we've gone there multiple times, and we just sit and kind of like
Okay.
look green with envy at everyone sitting
We
there.
had 5.
But we finally went with a group of 6, and
Okay.
so because of that, we got put there. So
It was
bigger
perfect.
parties are great for those seats.
It was perfect. The food was fantastic. I loved it. The atmosphere is just sensational. The service was off the hook. So
Yeah.
it was great. And then we watched the fireworks from the beach that night, which was beautiful. The next morning we woke up, went to the quiet pool at the new Poly Tower.
Nice.
Because we said, I don't want to go to the main one, which can be a little manic.
Yeah.
I mean, it's super nice. Don't get me wrong. I love it.
But you
with
don't
the
have littles there, so you're
I ain't
not
got no
doing
littles.
slides.
No. So we walked over, got 5 perfect chairs. It's so quiet over there. It's so beautiful. And the view, my God, you just sit in your chair. I sat there, and you could look at this picture because I'll add it. Look right there, and you just see Cinderella Castle. Not like you have to turn up, stand around, look behind you. It's right there.
Yeah.
So the pool was quiet. It was calm. We did Ohana for dinner, which was great. Everybody always says, Ohana's good, but they rush you. That's usually the number one complaint that people always say. It was good, but I swear to God, we were done in like 22 minutes.
Yeah.
For us, I don't know if Annie, because she said, hey, I have a gluten thing, so maybe that, but it was so paced out. It was probably like an hour 30, hour 40. Oh, it was
That's perfect.
perfect. And the trip was just great. So now we're in this kind of Disney depression kind of, because it was just 2 days.
Such a high.
2 days of just just being with the family where
Yeah.
your biggest concern is, I got to get up and get a drink, or where are we going to go eat tonight, or anything like that. So that was what Disney Vacation Club is all about. So it was awesome. And I was so jealous when I saw your pictures from where you were. I was like, I forgot you were going. Tell me
Well,
where you
you
went.
stayed for a staycation. We went a little further to Vero Beach, which, shocker, we went to Vero Beach once again. But it was beautiful.
Yeah.
We had beautiful weather.
Beautiful weather.
It was cooler, but just like warm enough to where you would just lay out on the beach and it was still beautiful.
Yeah.
The pool, we got in the pool totally fine. We swam a little in the ocean, not a ton because it was a little bit cool. But it was just, it's always just so wonderful there. Like you get there and it's just this reset feeling.
For people that haven't been, it's that, at least for us, it's that feeling when you know you're almost there and you go up and over the causeway and you look outside, you're like, oh my God, we're almost there. And then you see it and then you make that right-hand turn and then you pull in and you see the alligator bush, you know what I mean? And that
you
feeling.
Know you've made it there.
And you walk into the lobby.
And the smell. Yeah, it was, we had a great time. And to your point, it was just very relaxing. And it was just like that much needed, just very relaxing.
What kind of room did you get?
We got just a standard in-room.
Oh, a standard in-room. Okay.
You know what? It was funny. Very similar. Remember the one you got the last time you went? But yours was Ocean View?
Yeah.
Ours was, again, that really long
was?
hallway. Ours was the opposite. So it was the in-room version of what you had.
By the pool?
Yeah.
So on that side.
So we had the view of the pool, and actually we had a whole nother window.
Yeah.
Our balcony was like the pool, but then a whole other window with the ocean front. So we got to see ocean front without having with a standard room. So it was a win-win.
The World of DVC staff is crushing it
I
at
know,
Vero.
right?
I don't know if someone that works at Vero is a fan of the show, but thank you so much.
Loving it.
Loving it. So that's awesome. And again, we want to know what you guys are doing for spring break, which I know a lot of people are excited as we travel kind of around the world of DVC, talk about all the latest news and whatnot. I think there's one word, if I'm not mistaken, that I keep hearing nonstop on my social media from friends, from family, from everyone else, and it's one word. Tell them what that word is.
Epic.
Epic. That's it. Epic.
Plain and simple.
Epic opens, I believe, Epic Universe. Is it May 29th, 22nd?
I'm so like my son's birthday is May 27th, and it's our anniversary. So like my mind just goes to May 27th, but it's not May 27th, but it's right around there.
End of May.
Yes, end of May. We'll go with that. Safe.
Of course. So of course that's the new theme park that's opening up down the street from Universal. Incredible theme lands. It's so weird because being here in Central Florida, we remember seeing the first reports of it. And we're talking, like 6-7 years ago?
Yeah.
It was like, and they just broke dirt here. And so we've watched this turn into what it is.
Yeah.
And there's not been a theme park opening, I don't think.
Since Animal Kingdom.
I mean, of this magnitude. You know.
Well, no. Animal Kingdom, I believe it was like $1 billion.
Yeah.
And I believe we're in like the tens to 15s of billions of dollars for Epic. So, I mean, substantial, even taking in inflation.
That's a lot. Well, they got dragons. So
They have dragons, yes. This is true.
Yeah. But it looks sensational. And I know a lot of people have, they kind of talk to us about it. And they're almost like shy about mentioning it to us. Like they think that we're just Disney people through and through. And we don't do anything but Disney. That's it. So don't even bother mentioning anything besides Disney. Like, no. I'm excited to go to Epic. You can't wait to go to Epic. I love Universal. I love Horror Nights. This theme park has me so pumped up. And I think what's great too is if you're a DVC member, you don't have to be like, well, I can't go because my points don't work there. But they do.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
How do they work there?
Well, that's the great thing. We're seeing so many DVC members swapping their points. So you can swap your points, which again, go to dvcrentalstore.com. You can look at member swaps, and then you can get an idea of kind of what those nightly point swaps look like. Reach out to Ellie on the team there, Ellie at dvcrentalstore.com. You can send her an email. If you're interested in going to Universal, you can swap your DVC points for not just the rooms, but you can also swap your DVC points for tickets. So that's a great addition. And then if you are just not DVC member or not wanting to use your DVC points for that, you can also book through Be Our Guest Vacations. That team is getting all of the training on everything Epic, so they are super up to date on all the tips and tricks there, so they can help you book that as well, free of charge.
Yeah, because we were talking and we're kind of curious and we're like, hey, we got to do a giveaway. We want to engage everybody. So I think our question to you guys out there, of course, revolves around Epic, which some people might be like, I can't wait. And other people might be like, I don't care. I could care less. So we want to know for this month's question for a $100 Disney gift card, $100 Disney gift card, you have to leave us a comment on that YouTube page and send us that email to info@dvcrentalstore.com. at worldofdvc.com. Let us know, are you excited about Epic Universe?
Well, in the next year, right? So if
Yeah.
you're coming to Central Florida
Yeah,
in the
not
next
the end
year,
of May.
Yeah, no, not right now. But if you're coming in the next year, now through 2026, are you going, I want to know, are you
Yeah.
going to Epic and doing just Universal? Are you doing both? Are you doing Disney and Universal? Or are you doing just Disney? Like one of the three.
Yeah.
I'm curious to kind of see where our audience
I'm
falls with
super
that.
curious. So let us know in those comments because we learn a lot from you guys when it comes to your comments. So I'm dying to know. And I feel like if people are like, well, you know what, God, I'm going to be hearing so much about it. And
Yeah.
it looks so amazing. I feel almost bad if I go all the way to Central Florida.
And
if I
don't go.
all the way to Disney and I
Yes.
don't go even for like one day. But then again, many of you are going to be like, I don't care, Derek. I ain't leaving the bubble. I ain't leaving the Disney bubble. I don't care what you say. I'm not going. So let us know, please. We're dying to know.
Yep.
For a $100 Disney gift card in the comments, leave it. Of course, be sure to like, subscribe, and all that other fun stuff. And send us that email to info@worldofdvc.com. So I'm excited to talk to Grayson.
Me too.
I can't wait. It's been a while because, again, we talk to folks all the time
Yep.
that know so much. And that's why you guys are like the best audience literally in the whole entire world. Because when you reach out to us at the DVC resale market so many times, it's, hey, guys, listen, I just have like 84 questions just because I've been researching this and doing my homework, and nothing makes us happier
Yep.
than when folks come to us with a ton of questions because you've taken the time to do research. So I think this will be super fun because
Yep.
I love kind of talking to folks that are so relatively new to DVC and kind
Yeah.
of know, what do you know about it? What do you think?
What's the first impression?
That's
Going
what I
like
was
back
just gonna
in
say.
time.
That's what I was
Because
just
like
gonna
I can remember my first impression of DVC.
That
And
was
so
your aunt, right?
she was a member.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I knew kind of it. And then I worked at Disneyland right at the time of the Grand Cow launch.
Okay.
So I kind of saw it then, but like really never dove in. So it's interesting to see
This'll be-
somebody who's green to DVC, like what that looks like.
Let's see how many points he buys by the time we're done talking to him.
Everybody welcome Gray from our social media marketing team.
Boom. And just like that, he appears. Grayson's here, everybody.
Hey.
Welcome, Grayson.
Hello, hello.
Yeah,
How are
good
you?
to see you.
So we, of course, we did a little bit of overview of Gray, you adding to our team and what's brewing and all the fun stuff you've got coming along. But as we mentioned, you can find Gray pretty much on all of our social media channels. He's the one out there. If you're in the comments, if you're watching the different videos, he's creating them. But we thought that this could be a really cool topic just because a lot of times kind of in our sphere, when we look at like our World of DVC team, a lot of the people that join our team have been DVC members or were former DVC cast members or have like all this knowledge on DVC. And so we don't often get to talk to somebody who's kind of new to DVC.
Wait, you're not a member?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I'm not a member.
Come here. Let me show you some listings.
I've seen them. Trust me.
In fact, he
seen 'em.
posts some great ones that
I
you can
do.
find. Shameless plug for our Instagram account.
Which I have to give him props to before we continue, because I'm one of those guys. Shocking, I'm not very tech savvy. So when I see the great content, especially on, I believe the kids call it Instagram, when I see the content there that you do, some of the stories and some of the stuff and some of the graphics and the images, I'm like, who does? And it reminded me again.
It's me.
It's all you.
Well, thank
so,
you.
fantastic
I
stuff.
appreciate it.
So if you haven't already subscribed, is that what it is? Right?
Yeah, sure. Follow, subscribe.
Subscribe.
Check it
I mean,
out.
you can subscribe to our channel
Yes.
if you want to get more info, or subscribe to DVC Rental Store on YouTube
That's
to
it.
watch more of the What's Brewing coming your way as well.
That's it.
That's
it.
where you subscribe.
That's where
That's where
I
you
subscribe.
subscribe.
I literally just proved my own point. So, anyway, so Grayson, we're glad that you're here. So I think, like you said, I think it's a great idea. Just because we get to talk to so many people all the time that already come at us with great questions and
Yeah.
approach us and be like, oh my God, I've been looking into DVC since 1843. Now I think I'm finally ready. I have 1,000 questions. But there's so many folks that are really kind of new that they know kind of what it is, but not quite how it operates. So we were talking before the show that maybe a good way to do it is to, this was my idea. Like, let's pretend that we're all stuck in an elevator, a Disney elevator, and Grayson turns to us because he knows, because we were talking about the magic of Disney Vacation Club, and Grayson says, listen, we only got like 1 more minute left. How he knows we only have 1 more minute left in the elevator is kind of beyond me.
Clairvoyant.
Clairvoyant. But he says, can each of you give me maybe 30 seconds of what Disney Vacation Club is, because I've heard about it, but I'm not quite sure what it is or how it operates. So, Marissa, we're in the elevator. Grayson asked you, what is Disney Vacation Club? What are you going to tell him in 30 seconds?
Let me brush off my 30
I was
second,
going to
30-second sales pitch here. Well, Grayson, Disney Vacation Club is deeded real estate. Now, when you buy a contract, it's extremely flexible. So where you buy is where you own. So, for example, you can buy at the Polynesian, and then the number of points you buy gets you vacations every year. The great thing is those points are so flexible, you can stay for one night, you can stay up to 30 nights if you have enough points to do so. You can stay in smaller rooms, they use less points. Larger rooms use more points. Busier times of the year use more points. Slower times of the year use less points. The best part is you don't have to use all your points every single year. So if one year you run out, you can borrow from the future. Or if one year you're not going on vacation, you can bank your points. In one given year, you can use 3 years worth of points for one vacation. What people love the most about Disney Vacation Club is it keeps you coming to the magic year after year. It's a one-time purchase, but it will last for up to 50 years depending on where you buy. I don't know what the time on that.
She did
I was like, did I
rehearse this
cover all
much.
the things? And
My brain was going back to being on a cruise ship with her when we used to do these presentations and hearing her say it. And so I almost added on, like with you. That was, that was perfect.
All right. So you want to fill in like the other 30 seconds?
No, I'm just going to say how I say it. So this is it. It's still kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's not your traditional timeshare. Grayson, you're not buying a week, you're not buying a room, you're not buying a time of year, you're buying points. You pay for your points once. Whatever number that is, you get those points every single year. You use those points like currency for your rooms, right? Go 365 days a year, no blackout dates. Busier times of the year, more points per night. Less busy, less points. Bigger rooms like a Grand Villa, more points. Smaller rooms like a studio, less points. If you can't go away, no problem. Or you don't use them all, bank them into the next year. Take a bigger trip. Take multiple trips a year. If you don't have enough, you can even borrow from the upcoming year. Anybody could use your points, but most importantly, you can have friends, family members. You want to sell it down the road, sell it. You want to rent your points, you can rent it out. But most importantly, like the other lady in the elevator said, you get to pass it on to your kids. So this is the most magical thing you can possibly pass on, which is decades of the most incredible Disney vacations, and you're saving money on top of it.
So do I have to score which one was better?
Oh, man.
Oh,
man.
I didn't know we were doing this.
I didn't know it was a contest. I mean,
I would have actually,
let me start over.
I would have actually thought about what I was saying.
That was very impressive. I should have been trained, on the first day with you guys. I was doing all this research on my own. I could have just given you a call.
There you go.
Yeah.
Would have been nice.
Well, that's what I think is important about shows like this, which is it's such a cool thing that we're talking about it, because I think people do get intimidated by it.
Yep.
Like I think people hear about it,
Yeah.
or they hear timeshare and they can't run away fast enough, or they hear something about like a $30,000 price and they look and go, "What? I got to pay $30,000 every year? I'm not doing that club." So I think being able just to break it down to the nuts and bolts of it, and then you can go off in the weeds and figure out some
even
of the
like
details.
I think the weed side of it, the part I love is that break-even side, right? So like you say 30,000. So if you're walking by the kiosk at Disney Vacation Club and you hear that 30,000, the other part you don't hear normally is that typically the membership pays for itself in 5 to 10 vacations, and so that kind of break-even is where usually the light bulb moment for a lot of people. But what I am curious about, Gray, is what was your first, I guess, exposure to Disney Vacation Club, and what were your very first thoughts of Disney Vacation Club? So prior to coming here, just in general.
He's like being stuck in an elevator with you two.
Shoot.
I mean, I'll give the really short edition because I don't want to get too far into it. But like I think Marissa may have mentioned, or I've maybe even mentioned it. I didn't even go to Disney as a kid. Not that you would be sold on Disney Vacation Club to like a 12-year-old, but I actually went to Disney World for the first time when I was 21 in 2021.
Wow.
So my fiance, not at the time, my girlfriend at the time forced me to go. I say forced because I didn't help plan it, but when we got there, it was just like crazy. So while we were there, that was not only my first interaction with Disney Vacation Club, but just
your first
Disney
interaction
in
with Disney,
general.
period.
Yeah.
I'd been to Universal once as a kid, so I'd been in the area, but not the same.
Where'd you stay?
We stayed at Pop Century.
Okay.
We spent the minimum amount of minutes in the resort as you could spend. We were up at the first crack of dawn on the Skyliner, doing every single ride. We had watched Mammoth Club. I guess at the time it was Molly at all years. We got the itineraries written down. Like we were ready for that. So the resort was not really the focus for us on that first trip. It was like go, 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 go. As soon as we got home and we started thinking about the next trip, we were like, wait a second, we want to take a day off. We want to go to a resort where we could like sit by the pool, do something else, because it was a lot of steps and a lot of exercise. So we immediately did start looking at renting points back then.
So you had did you notice Disney Vacation Club like in the parks? Or did you do that from your research kind of coming home from that trip?
Well, I mean, you see them in the parks, like the kiosks.
Yeah.
We didn't go up to them. What we did do is when we were walking on the boardwalk, there is that little area with the, I don't know what they're called, like the showcase.
Yeah, like
thing.
the model
So
rooms.
we did step in there and we were like just curious, like, oh, what is this? Because we had so much time to kill. We were just having
That's
fun.
a pretty good stumble into
It
your
is.
very first Disney trip ever.
We just walked in and they...
Most people use the kiosks, not to talk about the club, but like, Sky, where's the nearest bathroom?
That's right. I'm sure they get a lot of that.
They get a lot.
They're not wrong. How do you get to Jelly Rolls? Right. We stumbled in, and they were pretty much like, "You want to check it out?" And we were like, "Yeah." And then they're like, "Okay, let us get one of our agents." And we were like, "We're gonna head out. It's all good."
Yeah.
Like we were like, we're just on vacation.
Because it had a sense like
it did. It
now
came
we're
with like
getting
committing.
sold. Right.
Yeah, and it's we're introverted. We're a little bit younger. Like same thing when we go into a store. And even at Disney Springs, and they come up to us like, "Hey, we're like, we're just gonna browse."
Well,
Like,
and you
we're just
weren't
gonna look
engaged
around.
yet at that point
No,
either, right?
we
So
were-
that would have been
it
like
was
a
just
big,
and it was our
meeting
first
to go to
vacation
is
together
like
ever.
thinking.
Yeah.
So in that perspective, it wasn't quite the picturesque, like you're not super into it at that point. But we did start researching it. We had our channels online and we were watching about it and everything. But really, I mean, honestly, until I started here and I was at the Island Tower, which was the first time I really met you guys. That was kind of my first time being in a DVC room, in a DVC space, around people, around owners. Like it was a lot, and it was a lot of learning.
Especially you were there opening weekend.
Opening day, yeah.
So it was that's like that was like ground
We
zero.
threw
It was
Gray in
like-
the fire. We're like, hey,
Yeah.
welcome to the team. Are you free for the opening of the Poly Tower? Where everyone and their mother and father are going to be
members
there.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
funny.
I mean, and I would have Derek, Paul, Amy, you would have thought that they were A-list celebrities at that event. I mean, to be honest, and not to say that they're not, but I'm just saying, like, that crowd, the people there
Yes,
were
that
owned.
crowd
It was
is-
members, it was people going to check it out, even if they weren't staying, they were coming to check it out. They were
they're-
excited about it. So I think I remember someone saying they had a bingo card with...
Yeah, that
With their
did happen.
Yeah,
There was
so-
a couple people.
Yeah.
Did you make the bingo card? Yeah.
Yeah, we-
You were big enough to make the bingo
That's what
card.
I'm saying.
Big enough to make the bingo card. Yeah, that
So,
was very, very funny.
It was an exciting experience. But I think,
that's
like,
cool.
I mean, apart from going on and learning about it, doing the research, like for my job, I mean, I'm required to know these things at this point.
Yeah.
At the beginning, like the things that hit me, I mean, not that you're asking me, but the things that I want to talk about,
Yeah.
the things that
Yeah.
hit
We are.
me getting into these resorts was you just don't really, I don't know, it never like actually went across my mind that there is like a kitchen space. I know it's silly, but like
Yeah.
those things, like you can read it online. You can see that it's an amenity, but like I just never really thought about it.
Yeah.
So when I
Right.
get into the rooms, like the one bedroom, I'm like, or I guess it may have been a 2-bedroom that we actually looked at.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, like this, it just feels like a whole space. I could have.
Wait a
friends
second,
and
you open up
family.
the fridge and there's beer in there?
I know,
Like,
and they just like room service, like it was crazy. So that part just kind of astonished me a little bit in
Yeah.
a silly way, because I just had never really thought about it. Like I said,
Yeah.
we stayed at Pop Century. We don't vacation a lot, so my resort experience is just very, quick.
So was your experiences with the rooms, did it legit go from, okay, we're at Pop Century, we had a great trip, it was insanely busy, we were barely in the room. Then was the next Disney hotel that like you stepped foot in, was that the Poly Tower?
Yep.
Into like a 2-bedroom?
2.5 years later, whatnot. That's
You
what it
couldn't
was.
pick leaping from any
Yeah,
bigger than
right.
open Pop Century to Pilot.
It really
That's
did.
crazy.
It created that
Yeah.
shift. I was like, okay, this is different. Like it's just a different experience for sure.
Yeah.
So,
So now, like, because you've kind of dove into both, like, DVC on the resale market side and then DVC on the rental store side, what surprised you the most about learning about, like, the ownership side of Disney Vacation Club? Was there anything that stood out to you where you're like, oh, I had no idea that was
Yeah.
part of it?
definitely on the ownership side, like, now that I've like done all this, I start to see like what Derek was saying. When people hear timeshare, they get so freaked out. I was even below that. I didn't even really know what it was. Like I was young. I hadn't really, like you said, I never considered owning it. I didn't have family members who have owned timeshare that I have known of. Maybe they've done it and they told me, but I had never known about it. So I learned all about timeshare in general, and the first kind of experience with it was Disney Vacation Club. So I had seen kind of how it works from the Disney side, and then I start to hear the comparisons with other ones, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's.
Could you imagine those people at the boardwalk probably went back and told the guy and said, I had the greatest couple. They don't even know what a timeshare is. Oh, you let them get away?
They should have closed the doors. I know
curses.
They're young, innocent.
Young, innocent.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, that surprised me. Just the whole thing in general. I think the whole idea that, and I'm a very nitty gritty person. Like I enjoy, I think you even mentioned that, you enjoy like the numbers side of it. I really like nitty gritty. Like how long would it actually take you? Like I'm not here to mince words. I'm not here to say, oh, you're going to love it. Like I want to talk to someone.
That's what I do.
Well, I'm just gonna say like that's how I am. If I was like, for example, now that I've started to learn about it, like probably my second or third week, called my mom. I'm cooking dinner, and I'm like, let me tell you about it, just because I want. It helps me learn to talk through it. That's so cool. I gave her the whole thing about points, point charts, like everything, just down to the like annual dues, and she's probably like, okay, like I'm proud of you for this job, but whatever. But for me, it's just so interesting, and so like that's what I still get interested in when I'm doing social stuff and looking at the point charts, like just the numbers of it, and really getting into that nitty gritty. Like it is really interesting to see, because it does work for certain people and it doesn't for others. And that's kind of the honest part that I've gotten into with responding to people, is like, we understand that not every single contract, not every single situation is the same for everyone. And so then the rental store side is fun. I think that side of it is really fun because, to be honest, it's for everyone. Like that's where, regardless of your situation.
Oh, they just want to go and have fun.
It's just fun. Yeah. And stay somewhere that's really nice. So that's the part where, like I said, if we wouldn't have moved down to Florida, if we would have gone on another vacation, we absolutely would have rented points. We were already on track to do that. We would have looked at a deluxe resort to stay so that we could have had that off day or whatever to relax. So.
Yeah, it is true. And I think that's, again, what kind of spells out what's so special with their company is we're really the only ones out there that have both, right? And so if you want to own, if that's the right step for your family, it's a great option. Like, and again, we talked about our vacations earlier as in the episode about just where we've been. And we get to keep doing that every year. And we keep going to the same places again and again. Yeah. But we love it. But then there's the side of, like, a lot of our guests who go, we just want to try out this one time, or we're like not sure about this, but we want to stay deluxe at a different, better pricing. And so with the World of DVC, we have access to all that, and we can really hit all of those different buckets for people.
Well, that's what hit me is when you were talking about you're looking through the one bedroom there at the boardwalk, and you're like, would you like some more info? You're like, I think so. And then it was that initial, then it was, well, hold on, let me get someone to sell you this. And then it was like, whoosh, right? The guard goes up and you're like, no, I'm out. So regardless, if it would have been a great conversation, that's what I love about what we get to do here. Because there ain't no, let me get you somebody else to talk to. If you start talking with an agent, that's
you
the
get
agent.
on chat, you're going to get Derek.
but that's when you start talking with an agent, there's no, listen, so this makes a lot of sense. This promotion runs for the next 13 minutes. So if you're going to buy it, you probably want, there's none of that. So it's like, hey, I just want to reach out to answer questions. You know what I mean? Hey, you've got my email, you've got agent's email that you can follow up, and whether it takes you, an hour to join, a week, a day, a month, a year, it doesn't matter, we're here. So that's what makes this environment that we have, I think, just so special.
Yeah.
You can just take your time.
One of the cool things too, and Gray's actually been working a lot on the social media side, is we just launched our brand new educational videos. And so if you're on the DVC Resale Market website and you go to the virtual tour right there in the menu, you're going to see a whole plethora of videos that go step by step of everything about the Disney Vacation Club. If there's a certain topic, you'll find that topic already in the description there. So again, if you're in that situation like Gray was in, where you walk up to the boardwalk and you're like, yeah, we're not going there right now, and you took the other turn, but you still want to learn, that is the best way to learn about it.
I'm so glad that you mentioned those, because I use those every single day, not for myself, but when folks come or they call or they go on chat, what's great about them too, which I truly I love them. I mean, really, you did such a great job in putting them all together because the guests that have used them, if you haven't, like she said, go look for it. Yeah. Just because this is not, a lot of people might be intimidated if you go on YouTube and you search up a topic and you're like, okay, so this topic is 58 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, I ain't got 58 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? But when you look on these, they're like 2 to 3 minutes. Tops. It's like the greatest hits on like 10 different topics maybe. So depending whether you're buying, whether depending you're selling, check those videos out because they're so helpful and they're done super, super quick. So
Yeah.
they're awesome.
One thing I wanted to do on this episode is flip the script on you.
Okay.
So I want to ask you a couple questions that you ask a lot on your What's Brewing.
Oh shoot, I'm definitely not ready for that.
I didn't give him any time to prepare, so this is like off the cuff.
This is one long elevator ride.
You see the cut up versions, but before I start with the guests on What's Brewing, I tell them like, listen.
I'm sorry, Gray. I didn't do the same for you.
No,
Welcome to the World of DVC show. We throw you in the
I'm
deep
just saying
end.
what I tell them is, listen, you guys, just so you know, all the pressure's on you because I'm boring. I'm going to ask you the questions and I'm going to shut up and let you talk. So we'll see how this goes.
Okay, so I will keep it really like broad on this one.
Okay.
But for your DVC, your buy, your rent, your sell.
Oh gosh.
But I'm not going to give you like 3 options. You tell me.
Oh, I can just tell you any of them.
You pick.
Okay.
Buy, rent, sell.
Well, sell's a little funny because if I don't have choices, then I can just pick whichever one.
Yeah, I know. I'm giving you.
Well, okay. Well, I have to say buy would be Saratoga Springs.
Okay.
Because I've told this, I've probably told her. I tell everyone. I proposed to my fiance last July at Saratoga Springs. We walk.
Really?
Yeah, we go. I guess I haven't told you. So just so you know.
I tell everybody except you.
Except Derek.
Except Derek.
So yeah, we always when we moved here, we kind of discovered that you could walk around the resorts. So we would always go to Disney Springs, walk around, and then we were like, this is so crowded. And we finally discovered some video, some TikTok, whatever, that said, hey, if you walk around the backside by the art store, you can go over to Saratoga Springs. And we were like, okay, check it out. So we started walking there all the time. We would go, every time it got busy at Disney Springs, we'd scoot over to Saratoga Springs, do the whole loop. We went all the way to the Treehouse Villas. Like, it's a long it's a pretty long walk if you're like ready for it. Like, it was an exercise. So then, last summer I decided I was going to propose, so I flew down with my parents and her mom, and we walked to that little gazebo at the end where you can see over to Disney Springs. It's on that front, like, waterfront.
Oh,
And I popped the question. We'd been dating for 10 years, so I luckily wasn't super nervous about the answer. So it was a yes.
Pretty confident.
Right. But I'd have to say I would buy Saratoga Springs just for that reason. It's like sentimental.
Yeah.
Even though we don't own. It's just sentimental for that simple reason.
Okay.
Rent.
Not a bad choice, though, because it's a great, that's always our, like, if you're new to DVC, that's our recommendation.
Before he moves on to rent, I need to know. So when you proposed, did you walk around then all of Disney Springs with the ring in your pocket, like the whole entire time, knowing that you were eventually going to do that?
Yeah. Yeah. So it was in July. It was really hot, and so I looked up like when do they open? It's like 9 a.m. So I was like, we're gonna park at 8:30. We're gonna hope that the security people let us through. So I told like my parents to meet us, around that time. So they probably had a harder job. They like ran through the Disney Springs, hiding, getting behind the building and whatnot. But yes, we. Oh, that's. It was. She knew something was coming because I said, "Hey, we're gonna go on a walk. We're gonna go like early on a Saturday," and she's like, "Why?" I'm like, just trust me, like it's fun. It'll be fun.
Because I want to.
Yeah. So she knew something.
This is the weirdest you've ever been.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it was kind of like that.
Yeah, I know that feeling where you walk around the whole time, knowing you're going to do it, and the whole time you're in your head, you're going over your speech. Like your whole thing.
Oh, I wasn't.
I
was going over like I don't want to be sweating. Like I was so preoccupied. Like we had flown people in, so there was so much
you weren't
like
worried about that because you knew you were going to be anyway.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I didn't have a super nice speech, unfortunately. It was more of the act. I'm an acts of service guy, I guess. That's why bringing people there and whatnot. So
congrats.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Not married yet, but we'll get there eventually.
All right, so rent.
Rent. Oh my gosh, this is so hard. I need like at least 20 minutes.
So say you're not a member, and you're like, you know what? Someone just gave me money, and they told me I could only use this at the DVC rental store to rent a contract, to rent some points for a trip.
We should have gift cards at the DVC rental store.
We should.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Thanks for the diversion, because I had time to think about it, and I've decided, which is the boardwalk. I would rent the boardwalk. We love Epcot. It's like our favorite one, being right there. We always have wanted to stay there, so we do talk about it. But we love like the boardwalk area in general.
Yeah,
even
right
when you're
on.
not going to a park. And like I said, now that we live here and we go to the parks regularly, I'm all about like what can we do outside the parks.
Yeah,
so
that's
boardwalk
true.
is kind of the epitome of that.
100%.
And I think we like the boardwalk ambiance a little bit better than like the beach club across the way, just for whatever reason. Location's almost the same, but we kind of prefer the boardwalk.
No, it's different. The boardwalk it feels like a nightlife.
It does,
Whereas I
yeah.
feel like the yacht and the beach club is super pretty.
But it's separate.
Yeah, you're like walking
Yeah.
through by the pool, and wet kids in towels are running out all around you.
There's a lot of people at the pool.
That's true.
I mean, the pool's great, but like, it's overwhelming. It's just a lot of people, and they pack you so close. Like, I look at that pool and I'm like, I don't want to go there.
We did it last year, and we were
But
super excited.
It was a slower time, no?
Yeah, it was still busy,
Yeah.
but we were able to find like one of those rare little nooks, off in like a corner somewhere where there was only 2 chairs, because the rest of it, like I feel like that Stormline Bay, it's awesome.
Yeah.
But my God, there's like 37 levels,
It's
and
like
there's
Blizzard
like
Beach in
slides.
2025. Your sons were telling me it was a crazy time.
It was a little nuts. Yeah. So good choice.
Now
for
that
the
we've
boardwalk.
sold Boardwalk, I've decided during that time, actually, I want to change it to Alani because we've never been, and I kind of forgot that there's
yeah.
ones that we've never been
Yeah.
to. So I'm going to cop out and say
Okay.
Alani just as a honorable mention.
Have
'cause I
you
wanna
been
go.
to all of them then in Florida now as part of this job?
No.
You haven't.
Still haven't.
Which ones have you not been to?
I have, and this is what I was going to say, is one that I think I really like that I haven't been to is Old Key West. I think
you
I would
haven't
like
been
the
there?
vibe, but it's just one of those ones like it's a little bit hard to get to it. I haven't been to a couple of them, not to throw myself under the
I'll
bus.
take you to lunch.
That's what I was going to say. It's to the point where
Oh,
I'm
Key
on.
West, what else is on your list?
Oh
that
gosh,
you
I
need to
haven't been
do?
to Wilderness Lodge. No, I have. I've been
Okay.
to the cabins only though during a tour. So we were taken straight to the cabins. We didn't see the actual resort area.
Yeah.
And then same with Animal Kingdom Lodge. I haven't been to the actual area. So like I'm missing out. I'm telling you, my calendar
We need to
has.
adjust your schedule.
I know. I've been doing other stuff.
Those are
but
some high priority
I'm
locations.
gonna start putting them on my calendar once a week. Or you can catch me at a resort. Checking it
Yeah.
out. I gotta know. I gotta know what's going on.
Yep.
Else how am I supposed to talk about it? So yeah.
That's awesome.
All right, where would you sell?
I mean, can I cop out and say like Hilton Head?
Yeah, of course.
Hilton Head, because again, it's one I've never been to. It's a little bit, I'm not missing out on much if I don't know what I'm missing
That's
out
true.
on.
That's very true. And it expires pretty,
Yeah, it's high dues.
High dues. It's a beautiful resort, though.
Yep.
It's a beautiful resort. You
I've
would
seen
love it.
pictures. I need to take pictures. I need
know.
to be out there checking
Have
it
you
out.
been
so-
to Vero yet?
I haven't been to Vero.
Oh,
I'm telling you,
Just wait,
I'm telling
wait.
you, every week I'm like, I'll make the drive down there. But
Yeah.
I told Mandy I would just drive down there and just take pictures. And she was like, well, you should at least have like a room so you can stay or you can check it out. But I was like, you better give me a room quick because I'm going to be driving down there to check it out.
It's a great spot.
yeah.
It's
So I'm
one
really
we go
newbie.
to a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Real newbie.
That's awesome.
That's cool though. Okay, so out of so you've seen quite a few though, DVC resorts.
Yeah.
And you've seen a few rooms now?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
definitely.
Yeah.
What was one that probably surprised you the most?
Good question.
I mean, we did go to the penthouse at the Island Tower on
Yeah.
the second day. So that was really
He's like,
cool.
remember, I came from Pop Century. So I'm good with whatever you
And
I mean,
you're-
that's
it's
an
true, though.
impressive room.
It's true. It's all very impressive. The ones I've been in have all impressed me to a certain extent because it is just, I don't have a lot of time staying in these rooms. And so when I see them, I'm like, and I mean, honestly, the bigger rooms,
Yeah.
Those are what really get to me. Like when we were at Saratoga Springs in a 2-bedroom, and anytime that you go in and have that much space, it's just kind of like shocking. Like,
Yeah.
to be honest, like
It really
it
is.
is a little bit shocking. Like if you've only been in a place like Pop Century, which is like,
Yep.
and when I look back on it, it's nice. Like it's a nice room.
it's
just,
great.
and we were only there going to sleep and then getting
Yep.
up and leaving. But I'm like, if I had the time to actually sit and relax, like it is a little bit shocking to see a full kitchen. Like
That's what
in
we
a
tell
washing
people all the
machine.
time, because
Yeah.
you're not the only one. Everyone always tells us
Yeah.
when they learn about the club, where do you stay? And they say, Pop Century, All-Star, whatever it is. Yeah, but we're never in the room. And
Yeah.
that's what we always say is like, you're never in the room because you don't want to be in your room.
Why would you?
What are you going to
Yeah.
do in your room?
Yeah.
Like, if you want to eat, you're eating, like, probably on the bed, or you're watching TV, and you're sleeping right next to each other, and you're sharing one bathroom and all that. So that's when you get to see rooms like that, you go, God, that would be nice.
Yeah,
just
so
to-
we don't have to do that.
Yeah.
So let me ask you that question. Was there ever a room that you went to and on DVC stay that you were like, wow, like total surprise?
Oh, That's a good question. I mean, you always think of your first. Like,
Yeah.
My first was at the Boardwalk.
Yeah.
Which is when a friend of ours that worked for Disney at the time, we lived in Chicago, got us a discount. And she's like, I didn't have any hotel rooms available with my, cast member discount. But she's like, there's like something like a Disney Vacation Club, like a 1-bedroom.
This is back in the day when the cast members didn't know what DVC was.
Back in the day. No joke. And it literally was like, well, I guess we could do it. Because it's almost like what we pay to stay at Dixie Landings. So, yeah, let's just try this 1-bedroom at the Boardwalk. And it was like, cut to 20-some years later. So that was like, we're never going back. We're never going back. So that one. But I think recently, for me, seeing the ones at Island Tower were super, super impressive.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen all the refurbs and I love them all for different reasons. But seeing the ones in Island Tower for the very first time was kind of, because everybody saw the building go up and you hear everybody squawking like, I don't like it. It's like a Marriott. It's like a Hilton, blah, blah, blah. But once you go in it, and my kids said the same thing, like not into the room, but even walking in the lobby. And then you go up in the room and see those areas and seeing the room.
Well,
it's like,
true.
It's so
we
much
really
prettier.
haven't had a new.
No.
Now that I'm thinking about it, like a new DVC, like the Grand Floridian was just a wing, right? Even Copper Creek was a part of it. Collie was a part of it. The Grand Floridian itself, that building, when that was first done, I think that was equal to that excitement.
Yeah.
But the only thing is, it didn't have like a restaurant or anything. Like it wasn't a destination.
Right.
It still felt like a piece of the Grand Floridian, where the tower feels like.
It got me thinking too, because even Animal Kingdom was it, because Animal Kingdom Lodge first.
Yeah.
Then it became Disney Vacation Club. So you might have to, and this is perfect for everyone out there. What is the last, like not an expansion? What is
Alani?
it? It has to be, right? Or is it Saratoga?
No, well, Alani was after Saratoga, but at Disney World.
Yeah. Right. Oh, God. See, that's an interesting one.
But Saratoga was also reused.
Right.
It wasn't like new from the ground up.
Yeah.
I mean, but I think that's why it had that special feel with the Polynesian Tower, because it just had this very special feel about it. It just was different than a lot of the other openings I've been to as well.
Yes.
I think the first time we got a 2-bedroom at Vero Beach, and I like to splurge, so I've done a lot of the cabins and the 3-bedrooms and all of that. And every one of those is extremely impressive when you walk in.
Whereas Derek on every trip is like, how much is half a studio? Can I get half?
I'm only staying from 4 p.m. till 9 a.m.
He points by the hour.
But the 2-bedroom at Vero was the first time I was in an older resort 2-bedroom. Yeah. And Oak Key West, Beach Club, Vero Beach, a lot of those older 2-bedrooms are massive.
Oh, God.
And I think that was another one where I was like, this is a 2-bedroom? Like, it was huge.
Yeah. It has like a hallway.
Yeah,
like
it was massive.
It's so big. That's so big. So, Grayson, would you say what is coming forward? Like, knowing that your life is now basically eating, breathing, sleeping, all things Disney, a Disney Vacation Club. Is there anything coming up? Because, of course, you have to stay up to date with everything going on. Is there anything coming up that, like, you're most excited about? Like, man, you know what? I can't wait for this. Anything coming? Because there's a lot of stuff coming.
Yeah, there is a lot of stuff coming. I mean, to me, oh gosh, I feel like it's sacrilegious if I say what I was about. It almost came off the tongue. I was about to say Epic.
That's fine.
I was about to say Epic is so exciting.
We're not going to edit that out. We're not going to edit that out.
Also, for the rest of you who are DVC, who are like secretly like, we're also going to Epic Universe. It's okay. You can go to Epic Universe and we can help you go there. Yeah. You can swap your points, which I don't think a lot of people realize. You can swap your points for Stella Nova, for Helios. You can swap your points for tickets. So if you want to go to Universal, do the 3-day, add on the Epic, or do single day, you can do that. If you're not a DVC member, we can still help you with our team at Be Our Guest Vacations. They can book it for you, or you can buy discounted tickets with us. So really, Epic is very exciting. We have to get home on our bucket list.
Yeah. We don't mind.
You're safe, Gray.
You're safe.
So I'm really excited about Epic. Like I said, I went to Universal as a kid with my dad. It was like my first theme park experience, going to Hogwarts and all that. So I'm just excited to go, and we'll get to go a little bit early. So I'm excited to see it kind of like right when it started.
When are you going?
Gray's doing a preview day.
Oh, I wasn't even going to say that. We're going in June as well, but
I don't know if we're going to leave this in the show. I'm going Monday.
This
You
Monday?
beat us all.
I'm going Monday.
So is that 20
I'm going.
20th or something?
My good friend, he's my brother, works there, and so they're doing their family preview. So we're going on March the 31st.
And you're going to be able to like walk on all the rides, huh?
I don't know. I mean, I think there's people there, but it's like way.
I'm very
way
jealous
less.
of you.
I know. She doesn't get to be jealous of me very often, but this is one thing.
This is a moment.
When I told her
Soak
a
it
couple
up.
of weeks ago, and I told her, she's like, "What? When? When? Like March 31st?" And then I think it was followed by, "Well, tell him to get me in too."
That was my next message. Add me.
Yeah. See, that's awesome.
That's exciting.
That's huge.
So hopefully if we do the preview, it'll be exciting. And either way, just getting to go. And I think when my boss comes into town, Mandy, we'll get to see Helios as well. So seeing that resort will be really exciting. And hopefully we get to get some content stuff there. But in terms of Disney, I mean, apart from what's coming for everyone else, like I just mentioned, I'm still kind of new. So I'm excited, like over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to use this as my inspiration to really put it on my calendar, to make it to some of these resorts, make a dining reservation, and actually go, immerse myself a little bit. That's what I keep being told, to immerse myself, and I end up just immersing myself in my apartment on my computer.
It's a mistake we all make in life.
So.
He's in his apartment working on the computer, coming up with this great content that everybody out there, including me, then views through their phone or on their computer. Like, I want to go there.
I wanna
wanna
go there.
And meanwhile, Grace
And I
like,
wanna
me
go
too.
there.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? I should.
Exactly.
Okay, Grace. So now that you're in the DVC world a little bit more, what does DVC mean to you?
Well, I mean, it's a little bit weird because it is my job, and now
Yeah.
I've ended up making a lot of friends that I'm actually I talk with my coworkers and things outside of work all the time. It's been really fun to be around people in the space. So for me, it's just so funny. Like I haven't even it's funny because I've never owned points, spent points, paid $1 for points, but I've been in these spaces with friends and coworkers now so many times that like when I think about Saratoga Springs, the first thing I think about is getting engaged. Just for the record. The second thing I think about is going and spending time there with like Lex and Cody, or going to Beach Club and hanging out with Paul and Amy and getting to eat at I can never remember the name, the Cruise.
Oh, Crew Cup Lounge.
Crew Cup Lounge,
Yeah.
which was awesome. So like those memories for me, that's what it means. Is just like meeting people and hanging out and talking.
awesome.
And I haven't really had that in a lot of my other like remote social media type roles. So having those conversations and stuff has been just like super valuable to me.
Well, you and I are going to Alani in 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh. I will block my
Buckle
whole
up.
calendar. If you get me on a plane, yeah, I will be
Marissa just kicked me underneath the table.
There goes our whole marketing budget.
No more giveaways, kids.
right. We're going to a line.
Well, you haven't done Alani either, so you really
I
do.
have not.
You
I
both
know.
need to
Okay,
go.
I don't feel as bad
You
now.
need to go
Okay.
experience.
Exactly. He'll go to Old Key West and I'll go to Alani. It'll
I'll
be a
take
win-win.
it. Yeah, I'll take it.
Doesn't seem quite fair.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Well, this was awesome.
Yeah,
This
thank
was
you
so
for
great.
joining us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And again, thank you for everything that you're doing for this team, your content that you're putting out, and most importantly, you're just having fun. And I think that people can see his newfound passion and
Yeah.
enthusiasm. Like, there's not one bit of jadedness in him at all, which I just find fantastic.
Yeah.
So I love it. So we are thrilled to
Trying
have
my
you here,
best. I
part of our
appreciate
team.
it.
Appreciate everything you do. So thank you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it so much. It's been a blast. It's been a blast. Like
All
you
right,
said.
we're going to have you join in for a long-standing tradition.
Oh, yeah, that's it. That's
Okay.
right.
All right.
You know what this
What
is?
is it?
Oh,
I've watched the shows, but maybe
All
not
right,
hard
well,
enough
get
for-
ready.
this elevator's getting hot. Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
This is it. It's our law. We've done it
I'm
forever.
super ready.
We've done it
On
forever.
three. On three.
So
Oh.
thank you all for tuning in, and we'll see you
see ya
real
real
soon.
soon.
Oh, Instagram, huh, great?
Yeah.
It starts with a spark, alive in our hearts, a chance to build your legacy. To go to magical places with smiling faces and value and trust you